By 2026, over 90% of online content will be AI generated, but here's the paradox. Your most profitable AI strategy isn't about full automation. It's about people. We're about to move past the prompting era and even what Shreya Kapoor calls the human-in-the-loop phase. The chat interface you're used to? That's a transitional fossil in 2026. So, if everyone's using AI and pure automation is a trap, what does it mean for your business? We're diving into what's called human-on-the-loop AI, where the real value comes from strategically embedding human intelligence. And stick with me, because the last part of this is the piece almost everyone gets wrong, and it's the part that decides whether you win or lose here. By 2026, over 90% of online content is projected to be AI-generated. That statistic isn't a prediction. It's a looming reality that's going to fundamentally reshape how businesses operate and how we all interact with information. For the last 2 years, we've been told the future of AI is full automation, that the goal is to remove humans entirely from the loop. But a deep dive into the 2026 enterprise AI landscape reveals precisely the opposite. The biggest gains won't come from pushing the red, automate everything button, but from strategically integrating human oversight. Shreya Kapoor, a prominent voice in AI strategy, argues that by 2026, we're moving beyond human-in-the-loop as constant hand-holding and conversational interfaces, shifting instead to human-on-the-loop AI. Think about it. The chat interface, which felt revolutionary just yesterday, is already being called a transitional fossil. Why? Because the real competitive advantage for businesses, especially SMEs and startups, isn't about raw headcount or superficial AI features anymore. It's about where intelligence is embedded in your operating model and how humans govern it. This is why Ashish Verghese Thomas believes human-in-the-loop AI is the real content strategy shift coming in 2026, directly contradicting the automate everything narrative. Let's break down what this actually means for your business. The most shocking prediction for 2026? The chat interface, the very thing that kicked off this AI boom, is now being called a transitional fossil. Shreya Kapoor, an analyst I follow closely, declared the end of the prompting era for enterprise AI by 2026. This isn't just a linguistic shift. It's a fundamental change in how we interact with these systems. For the past 3 years, the dominant question for businesses has been, how do we prompt it? Leading to this constant hand-holding, human-in-the-loop, HITL, approach. Think about it. Every task requires you to type out detailed instructions, then review, refine, and repeat. That's changing. Kapoor argues that by 2026, the focus moves from HITL to human-on-the-loop, HOTL, AI. Instead of constantly prompting, humans will be overseeing more autonomous AI agents. This isn't about automating everything. It's about treating AI as an agentic layer embedded across the business, not just a bolt-on productivity tool. For instance, instead of prompting an AI to draft a marketing email every time, a HOTL system might observe a new product launch, automatically generate several tailored email campaigns, and then present them to a human editor for a final approval or tweak, rather than constant back and forth. This model fundamentally alters how SMEs and startups, who traditionally scaled output by scaling people, can now scale intelligence. This transition from prompting to oversight also brings up an interesting question. If AI is generating so much, who's checking the quality? And what's the real cost of those checks, like the $8 million donation nobody checks? Most companies are currently making an $8 million donation to AI initiatives with zero ROI calculation. Regis Hagler, a principal at McKinsey & Company, coined that phrase during a recent industry roundtable, and it perfectly encapsulates the profound spending disconnect we're seeing across Fortune 500 enterprises. Consider a typical $8 million AI budget earmarked for 2026. A staggering $2 million goes straight to AI platform licensing from vendors like DataRobot or H2O.ai. And another $3 million is consumed by AI transformation consultants from firms like Accenture or Deloitte. That's over 60% of the budget before a single problem is solved, a new customer segment is identified, or tangible value is created. The real problem isn't a lack of ambition or budget. It's a critical trust gap within the C-suite. By 2025, nearly 90% of insurance organizations, for example, will have deployed AI in some form, perhaps an RPA bot for claims processing or a simple chatbot. Yet, only 7% will scale those initiatives beyond initial pilot programs. The vast majority get stuck in what Dr. Shreya Kapoor, a lead researcher at the AI Institute for Global Impact, calls the human-in-the-loop phase: constant handholding, manual checks by human operators like Sarah Chun in claims, and AI functioning as a bolt-on productivity tool rather than an integrated, autonomous agent. What this teaches us is that by 2026, competitive advantage shifts dramatically. It's no longer about raw headcount or superficial AI features. It's about how intelligence is deeply embedded and governed within your core operating model, powering decisions from supply chain optimization to customer engagement. It's about AI as an agentic layer across the business, not just a conversational interface. So, if we're moving past the chat interface and we're wary of an $8 million donation to consultants, why is automate everything AI's biggest lie? Why, then, is automate everything AI's biggest lie? Because if AI truly did everything for you, as Mainharit Union, VP of Content Strategy at Influx AI, recently quipped during her Future of Content 2026 keynote, every ChatGPT user would have 500 million followers. Ashish Verghese Thomas, a leading voice in AI strategy and CEO of Quantum Flow Analytics, directly contradicts the automate everything narrative, arguing that total automation, especially in B2B content generation, risks diluting content quality and alienating sophisticated audiences who expect nuanced, human-driven insights. He firmly believes human-in-the-loop AI, or HITL, will be the real content strategy shift dominating 2026 discussions. Think about it. By 2026, OODA research projects over 90% of all online content will be AI-generated. If every piece of that content were fully autonomous, with no human intervention, the signal-to-noise ratio would plummet to unsustainable levels, and reader trust, already fragile, would evaporate entirely. This is why human oversight isn't just a nicety. It's an existential requirement for content credibility. Firms like Agamisoft, in their August 2026 white paper, HITL 2020 SIXS Essential AI Design, solidified HITL as a forward-looking design strategy, not a fallback. They emphasize human review and intervention at specific decision points, for instance, fact-checking critical data points or refining nuanced messaging, as a core tenet. This isn't about hand-holding AI anymore, as Shreya Kapoor, lead AI ethicist at Viridia Labs, points out, but rather integrating human judgment as AI's navigation system. For example, a finance team using AI to generate quarterly reports might have a human analyst, like senior financial strategist Mark Chun, review complex forecasts and market interpretations, ensuring they align with strategic objectives that the AI alone can't fully grasp or contextualize. This blend of AI efficiency and human intelligence is what builds reliable, scalable, and trustworthy systems. So, if we're moving beyond the automate everything myth, what does the truly effective human role look like in this new AI paradigm? Why is it that Deloitte, a company at the forefront of automation solutions, explicitly states that by 2026, the true narrative for AI won't center on the technology's capabilities, but rather on the transformative future AI empowers, a future fundamentally shaped by human ingenuity and oversight? Jason Gerzadas, Deloitte's CEO, recently emphasized this generational inflection point, urging us to look beyond the initial hype cycle. We are rapidly transitioning from the human-in-the-loop paradigm, characterized by constant human prompting and meticulous handholding of AI models, to what leading analysts like Shreya Kapoor at Gartner are now coining the human-on-the-loop era, projected to be prevalent by 2026. This signifies a profound shift, treating AI not as a mere bolt-on productivity tool, but as an autonomous, agentic layer deeply embedded across business operations, with human judgment serving as its essential navigation system. Consider a practical example: a complex digital marketing campaign. Instead of a human manually crafting prompts for every ad copy variation, an AI agent could design the overarching campaign strategy, generate initial creative concepts, and even autonomously deploy AI/B tests across platforms. However, a human on the loop, perhaps a senior marketing director like Sarah Chan, would still critically review the core messaging for brand alignment, tweak audience targeting based on nuanced market understanding, analyze performance metrics like conversion rates and customer sentiment, and ultimately make the final go/no-go decision. This isn't merely a best practice. By 2030, Human on the Loop will evolve into a mandatory design feature for trusted, explainable, and ethically sound AI systems. Impending regulations, such as those within the EU AI Act specifically targeting high-risk AI uses in areas like credit scoring or recruitment, will increasingly mandate explicit human oversight for sensitive, consequential decisions. This framework is precisely how we will drive ethical, scalable, and ultimately beneficial automation. So, what does this pivotal shift mean for your future role? You become the ultimate AI guardian. So what does all this mean for your job in 2026? The truth is, the competitive advantage for SMEs and startups by 2026 shifts to where intelligence is embedded and governed within the operating model, not just using superficial AI features. As Jason Gerzadas, Deloitte CEO, emphasized, the true narrative for AI won't center on the technology's capabilities, but rather on the transformative future it empowers, a future fundamentally shaped by human ingenuity and oversight. This is the shift to what Shreya Kapoor describes as human on the loop, or HOTL, AI by 2026. No longer are we human in the loop, constantly hand-holding or micromanaging, as the old chat interfaces made us do. Those are becoming, as Kapoor quips, transitional fossils. Instead, humans provide high-level direction and oversight, making your strategic input invaluable. Take the example of Emilio Salvador, VP of Strategy and Developer Relations at GitLab, who, in a December 15, 2025, article, defined cognitive architects. These are strategic developers designing blueprints of thought to guide AI agents in complex integrations and deconstruct business challenges. This isn't just a fancy title, it's about embedding human governance. AI is rapidly moving from early experimentation to real business decisions impacting workflows, customer interactions, employee routines, risk, cost, and overall decision-making. As Adam Mindler points out, human leadership is paramount in guiding this transition. Tom Hewitson, writing in The Guardian on March 10, 2026, after teaching thousands to use AI, observed a distinct professional divide. The successful third group treats AI like a bright, enthusiastic intern that needs to be managed. That's you. Your future job is the ultimate AI guardian, shaping the outcomes, not just accepting them. This is the payoff. This is why AI needs you more than ever in 2026. Ultimately, the shift we're seeing isn't about AI replacing us, but empowering us to operate at a higher, more strategic level. The future of AI in 2026 isn't one of complete automation, but of deliberate, governed intelligence where human oversight, ethical decision-making, and quality control are paramount. We're moving beyond mere prompting to becoming architects and guardians of AI's true potential. This means embracing human-on-the-loop and human-in-the-loop models not as a stopgap, but as a strategic imperative for trust and competitive advantage. Have you encountered a situation where pure automation failed and human intervention saved the day? Share your stories and insights in the comments below. If you want to understand how these cutting-edge insights translate into real-world operating models for your business, hit that subscribe button. And if you're looking to dive deeper into how specific AI tools can be integrated into a human-on-the-loop workflow, watch my breakdown of the top enterprise AI platforms next.